Culture Chalk Talk with Saxon and Taylor.
Hey, how is everyone? I am Saxon Bound.
And I'm Taylor Wallace, and we're the co-founders here at WeVue, coming at you today to talk about culture.
It's the Culture Chalk Talk.
Today we're going to be talking about...
Wait. Taylor wasn't here last week.
I wasn't here last week.
Taylor, can you please let everybody know why you weren't here?
I think I was at a meeting.
Well, that's a good excuse. Just kidding. We're back in action here this week. I got both Taylor and I. And Taylor, why don't you introduce the topic for the week?
So today we're going to be talking about outside learning, training, and coaching, and the opportunities we've seen not only in our own business, but with some of our clients and friends to reach out to the community, find opportunities for really continued growth of your team as a whole, and some of the benefits that can come out of that.
It's the idea of continued learning. Obviously, you have your 9 to 5 and you're going to get your training for your job. But we believe that if you plateau and you don't continue to learn, you're really not getting the full capability out of yourself. You're not really putting the pedal to the pavement 100%. So we really believe that you need to be sharpening all your skills, not just your overall game. That is a quote from the legendary Sidney Crosby. So we believe that individual skills, either inside or outside the office, when working with training is a huge thing.
Yeah, and I think too the surprise benefits that we've seen for ourselves and for some of our clients is that we found opportunities to recruit. I know that we personally are more engaged when we're focused on outside learning.
Mm-hmm.
We see that with our team as well. And we also have found clients through outside training and learning.
Yeah, I think the referral piece is huge here. When you're working with somebody as a teacher, whether that's in a class setting or a one-on-one setting, they're much more willing to help you in your business because they want to see you succeed, because they know that you're putting in the time and effort on your end. So they want to help you out, and inherently they want to give you new business and want to refer you to their friends and friends of theirs. So Taylor, why don't you unpack this a little bit and talk about some of the different examples that we've seen over the last few months?
Yeah, so the one that we probably started with first is I got involved working with a man named Kevin Bear, who's an executive leadership coach. He's been doing leadership training and coaching for the last 20 years. Has a mastery of that craft. Not really knowing a whole lot about leadership, coaching, and personal development in that sphere. And he started working with me one-on-one and really changed the way that I approach communicating with our team. Everything from how I organize my task list and how I try and keep people motivated. And as we went through that process, we decided to engage him further, bring him on, and work with the team as a whole. And so Saxon was privy to that meeting, obviously.
Yeah, and it was amazing. So Kevin came down here and worked with the team for a 2-day period. And to be completely honest, I think it was the most beneficial thing that we've done in the 3.5 years that we've been in business. Having a professional and outsider come in and really analyze what's going on by talking to us. Not looking at it or poking around, but literally talking to us and hearing how we feel. He really was able to get a great picture of the landscape that was happening here, and then furthermore, give us advice on a personal level, but then as a team, how can we interact and connect with each other better? And that outsider looking in on what was happening was that I think was the biggest reason why we were all so involved, engaged with him. Is because he barely even knew us, but he came in here and he analyzed everything that was happening in a very quick period of time. And he hit the nail on the head with mostly everything he talked about.
Yeah, and I think the thing that's really interesting is he doesn't know the nuances of our business. He wasn't coming in and observing us do our day-to-day tasks in the office. He probably wouldn't have understood what we were doing anyway, based on the nature of our business. But he saw how we communicated as a team, how we interacted, based on 20 years of experience of watching teams do that.
Other teams do that, yeah.
And I think that's the real benefit of working with an outside leadership coach, is that they are not only working with you, but they're bringing to the plate however many years of experience they have of working with other leaders. They've seen every type of situation.
They've seen the trends, and they've seen what's been successful and what isn't. So that was our first example, and really, Taylor had been working with Kevin for a while beforehand, but personally, that was my first example ever having dealt with some sort of executive coach. A coach outside of being on the hockey rink or on the basketball court. But really, it's a similar type feeling. It's a coaching feel, which we react to well because we grew up playing sports.
Yeah, I think to kind of take another tact from that, one of the things that we've done is look at some online training that's more skills based, and really in an effort to level up, for lack of a better word. And to give an example is, we went through a period of kind of jumping through some design challenges, and I basically said, hey, I want to sharpen my craft and learn Photoshop and Illustrator a little bit better than I know today. So I took a class through thinkful.com, and what was fascinating about that is not only did we get in front of Craig from Craigslist with a design I worked on that was totally unrelated to WeVue, but we ended up hiring my instructor. Yeah. So there was, never did we go into it with that assumption, but it was basically, hey, I just want to work on this in the evenings to kind of sharpen my craft a little bit, and as a result, we got a hire out of it.
And that's that added benefit. Taylor's name was in that conversation. He was on the same level playing field as everybody else that has been studying design or is in this class, and he was sitting at the table. That's really what online learning allows you to do without going to school, without giving up 50% of your time or whatever it is. Online learning allows you to really learn a lot and try to become successful in a short period of time and at your own pace usually.
And it's cheap.
And it's cheap.
And the thing that's interesting is too, you go through a set of course material that has nothing to do with your business, but as I progressed through it, there were so many things I then started applying back to the day-to-day. And I think we've seen that with a lot of the other training that we've done is it will be very broad or very technical, and on either ends of that spectrum, it doesn't often meet in the middle with the business, but over time as we go through it, you start to find ways to bring that back to the office.
Yeah, and that's really where training for your specific job is extremely important, but bringing in these other elements makes you think a bit differently, makes you think, okay, where would this work, or how can this potentially fit into our business? And we've seen a lot of success from that, just that different style of thinking.
Yeah, and along those lines too, one of the things that our developers do a lot is they go to a lot of meetups. We're actually starting a culture meetup here in Tampa Bay, and the thing that's interesting about that is, you have the opportunity to be the thought leader in communicating learning. Yeah. So not just going out and seeking it yourself, but providing others in your community a platform from which they can learn from you.
This is really where we see a lot of real-world examples. If we're working through a sales situation or we are working through some sort of problem or issue, other people have had these problems and issues. To be able to be in a comfortable setting to talk about and bring to light some of these challenges and hear how other companies have really accomplished and gotten over these challenges, that's so reassuring to have that network. And the only way that you really build that is to get out there and be a part of the meetup. It's free to go to. There's usually food. The people are extremely nice. And usually there's a subject matter expert there as well, talking about or training and teaching the audience about a skill or a tactic.
And that's another place, we found leads for potential team members. We found leads for new sales opportunities.
A lot of bigger companies these days, I know Starbucks is one of them, is providing tuition for employees, whether that would be a standard four-year college tuition or paying for these types of classes. I know that a lot of companies are supporting and subsidizing employees to be able to do these things. And we believe that that's just instrumental in the success of your company. The personal growth that comes out of sharpening the skills, not just the overall game, but the skills, that's invaluable.
And I think too, we don't have the resources to maybe fund someone to go back and get their MBA, or you're in a situation where you're never going to get that type of approval. There's a lot of smaller things you can do. Mm-hmm. Go buy 10 copies of a sales book for your sales team. Yeah. Go, sign up for one lynda.com account and share their credentials with a few people.
Let people out an hour early so that they can get to a meetup that might be halfway across town or whatever it might be. But it's empowering and letting employees know that we want you to do this. We want you to get involved. We want you to continue to learn. And I think that that's really the fundamental shift that a lot of these companies that are successful in keeping their people have done.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to wrap it up is you can work on your software as a person all day long, those skills you're using every day. But if you're not working on the hardware, you're not working on what makes you up as a human being, you're not moving forward. And if you're not moving forward, you're probably moving backwards.
Don't want to be moving backwards.
It's all about taking that next step.
It's all about taking the initiative. Hey, thanks a bunch for today. We will see you next week with another topic. If you have any questions, please just hit us on Twitter at WeVue or Facebook, facebook.com/WeVue.
That's a wrap.